All right, so we are going to be fixing an S10e's battery, uh, one of the most compact phones from Samsung. We have a large audience for this particular phone, um, and as far as I know, the S25 is probably the closest, which comes up to a compact phone, but it's also bigger than this one. So this one is a rough used guy, and let me just unlock it. As you can see here, the battery is mostly depleted. Okay. um, okay, so we stop this and go here, and so I've run those tests already, and this is what the battery test looks like. So I've even got the message of the deterioration. Battery is deteriorating a couple of times from Samsung on this phone. The screen on time is pretty low. You can get probably 2.5 hours from a full charge, and that's with basic usage like WhatsApp, calling, a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of YouTube, and pretty much using your banking applications as well. So the thing I noticed on this phone is that even though it's got this weak battery, if it just runs on Wi-Fi, if the Wi-Fi is kept on without even using the phone, the battery charge, I mean, it drops like crazy. So if I just put this off and keep this phone the way it is, and I don't use Wi-Fi, I get like about 3 days with just a little bit of calling and SMS, text, etc. No WhatsApp whatsoever. In fact, there's no WhatsApp on this phone. It's just a simple phone made for, I mean, it's just a simple layout, Android 12, made for just calling and maybe a little bit of YouTube and Gmail. But otherwise, the Wi-Fi is kept off and I get a decent amount of battery life. But as soon as we have the Wi-Fi on, we get, poor battery life, even if it's not used, and or even if the mobile data is kept on. Anyway, so going into the replacement of this guy, we're first going to switch him off, and we're going to be putting in the Nohon battery. No one has made a video on this for the Nohon replacement, but I thought I'll make one. This video is only the replacement. I will make a separate video on results on screen on time, SOT, of how this battery performs. All right, so we've got the toolkit is here. I'll be using this glue in most cases because I find this more effective. I've used it for two Samsung S10e phones so far, and this does a pretty good job. I mean, you do get the replacement cover with a border which has a sticky substance kind of thing. Okay, but I'm not sure about this particular back housing which I have purchased, how genuine it is. So I'm going to be probably using this if that doesn't work out. Yeah, so using it because obviously you can see this is pretty much rough used. So I've already opened it up just to make things easy. There's no process I'm going to be showing you in how you unstiffen these corners and open up the cover, because it's something there are a lot of videos on that. So if you're lucky, the glue will be expired by then, what they have put in the factory when manufacturing the phone, because that's how it was for this one. Apparently this piece has been repaired. I've got it off cheap from somebody for about like 65 USD, or I think lesser than that, 45 USD, which is about Indian rupees 3000. Okay, so the disassembly of this phone, there are many videos. You've just got to remove all these screws down here. So we've got a screw here, A screw here. So this portion is not necessarily required, but from here onwards you probably require it, or I think from here, yeah, this entire portion you would need to remove the screw. So I've already done it, so that's why it's looking very easy. I switched off the phone. Okay, and this is the old battery. It's a 2019 one, so it's probably the same battery which was put in while the phone was assembled the first time. So that's clearly not been changed. I'm just going to use my nail here to get this up, and this comes out very easily because I've already taken it out. It's not necessarily because I've taken it out, it's because this phone has been repaired before. You could see probably there's a date stamp here. Probably the screen had been changed, the display was changed. I'm assuming the display must be changed because it's got quite some scratches. I don't know if you can get that, but yeah, it's got a lot of scratches. And this is the battery, which is apparently a weak battery. Okay, 2019, and it looks, to me, it looks okay. It doesn't look too bad. It looks maybe a bloated up, but I think that's how it is, because even when I looked at the Nohon battery, it looked similar in terms of the shape, especially this section over here. Okay, so the first time I opened up the phone, apparently the previous technician who did work on it didn't really put that much of glue, T7000 or whichever one he used, whether it was this one, the B7000. So it was pretty easy to just try it out openly. So let's look at the Nohon battery. Let's put this broken thing aside. Okay, this is also pretty much opened up. Okay, this is the Nohon battery. Comes with a small user manual kind of thing, which I will show you over here. Okay, it gives you basic instructions on what to do when you insert the battery, how to discharge it, etc., things like that. So this has been purchased from AliExpress. I mean, that's the only place I know you get these. Obviously you don't get this in India, so you'll have to, if you're probably in the US or in places where AliExpress delivers, you could get these from there. Now I haven't tested it off. It seems sealed, so I'll have to, probably you can just open it from here, and there we go. So this is what it looks like. Nohon battery for the Samsung S10e, and it's got a little QR scanner down there. Okay, all right, so let's see if we can I'll be sticking it up later. This is just for the video I'm making. I'm showing you how it goes. Okay, so that's a Nohon. There seems it could have been a little bit more space, maybe make it a 1200. I always wondered why Samsung kept this space over here, but I think it's because if the battery gets bloated up and old, there would be space for it to maybe expand or maybe heat. Okay, as you can see here, there's this bottom portion is still open. So one might say that, okay, we could put Samsung could have put a 3200 mAh or a 3250 or 300 mAh battery inside this thing, because there was a little bit of space here, and putting in the Nohon, we get similar space over here. So now this Nohon battery says, or Nohon, however you say it, says it's a 3000 mAh, whereas the original one is a 3001 mAh. So I'm not sure whether this also is a 3100, because they have written over here rated capacity 3000 and typical capacity is 3100. In any case, let's see if this thing works. Put this in. Okay, seems about right. And just put this new cover to make it look like, wow, so cool. Probably I can do that later because I'm not prepared for that right now. Just to keep it in place, putting this cover here. And let's see if we can get this guy to boot up. Okay, it is booting up. You can see the scratches on the screen right now because it's a rough used phone. In fact, the front camera isn't so great as compared to the Snapdragon SE, Samsung SE Snapdragon version. I found this to be quite blurred and probably not sharp enough. Okay, so we've got this battery from the box, sealed box of the Nohon brand. It's at 58%. Okay, so let me just unlock this. So I think one of the things you'll probably need to do is after you replace a battery or any part, I would say the other parts don't matter, only the battery does. You'll probably have to go in here and check the status of the battery after you reset it. So I had come across a forum where there was something about battery cycles, where the phone already calculates the amount of times the battery has been charged. So when you put a new battery in, it's going to have the old record of battery cycles. So there's some people who have put in a new battery in the phone and said they're getting poor battery life similar to the old battery. So you'll have to reset it. The only way I can think of resetting it is by using these apps, Suzuku, Samsung Self Repair, or it's called Self Repair Assistant, and Root Activity Launcher. I'll quickly show you on how that works. Since this phone, its USB port is not 100% working because it charges the phone with the original adapter and the original Samsung wire with less than 15 watts, so it's not fast charging. And if I put another faster charger, let's say about 33 watts, it then charges the Samsung phone properly, which means there's a problem with the charging circuit inside the phone. I've heard somewhere that an IC needs to be changed. But in any case, I'm happy with using a charger with a larger capacity power. For example, I use a Redmi spare charger which I have. It's rated at 33 watts. I connected it into this and it charges correctly. The reason why I spoke about this charging problem is because for these three apps, if you want to reset the battery cycles, you have to use it through ADB mostly. And ADB means you'll have to use you need a computer to connect this phone to, and this phone doesn't get recognized by a computer because again the charging port is not 100% working. I tried cleaning it. I tried quite some things, air pressure, etc., blowing it on the port, but it doesn't really work out. So there are you can just Google this out. You need to install these three apps: Root Activity Launcher, Self Repair Assistant. What I do to get this app running, so these are the steps. If you can't use a PC, you can even do it this way by pairing it in developer mode options, and you'll have to go down here and click on this. Okay, I'll have to put, obviously my Wi-Fi needs to be on, and once the Wi-Fi is connected, then we go here, we do allow, enter this, and we'll have to do a pairing code. Then it says enter pairing code. So what's the number? 274088. Okay, I lost that, I think. 274. Two 74088 is what I said. All right, so it's paired. Now we have to go back to the Shizuzu app and try and start the process. probably have to disable it for this thing to start properly. Just for 1 second, disable it and enable it again. Allow, go back to Suzu and try starting it. Okay, so this is a way of doing if you don't have a PC, you use ADB through Wi-Fi. That's wireless debugging. And then it shows here the Suzu app is running. Okay, this app needs to run simultaneously in the background while you try to open the self-repair assistant app. Okay, this will not open. So in order for this to open, we have root activity launcher. Okay, go here, allow all the time, and we search for repair. I'm not sure if it's going to work because the first time I'm doing it. I'll have to go to this last option here in activities, which is self repair assistant, this one right here, GC welcome activity, and we're supposed to click on this, but for me it's not working, looks like, because I don't know, there should be another way around it. This is the part where I normally get stuck, so I'm supposed to sort of reset the battery cycles using this app, but I'm not able to get through it. Interestingly though, on my other Samsung S10e Snapdragon version, it works. This is the Exynos version. It doesn't work on the Exynos. I'm not sure if that's a limitation. The Snapdragon it works, and maybe the Exynos it doesn't work. So the resetting has to be done on this. As you can see, it's already dropped quite a bit, the percentage of battery. So yeah, that's a small video on replacement of the Samsung S10e battery with the Nohon battery. Forgot to mention, you get these tools to do your job, especially if you're going to be opening up the back panel for the first time. So you've got your, keep this here, okay, so we've got some card ejector, we got this, we got these screws, sorry, these screwdrivers, Phillips, of different sizes, in case you know these are not necessarily Phillips, but yeah. So that's it. Thank you for watching. This was my first video. I thought I'll just show you around on the Nohon battery. Enjoy. Cheers.